deck in action. Maxime Rayvich there. I'm going to send it on over to Marshall and Paul with the call here in round 7.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Welcome back to the booth here at Pro Tour Lauren Eclipse. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon, and we've got some spicy brews, I would say. You know, normally you'd think that we'd be all about the Dimir deck, but we were both chatting about that mono green deck. It looks sweet.
Yeah, no, I mean, the deck is extremely explosive. It has the ability to kind of kill your opponent out of nowhere with kind of all the additional landfall triggers. So curious how that does against kind of the Dimir mid-range deck, which is a deck that has a lot of interaction, so has the ability to kind of disrupt what the mono green landfall deck can do. Certainly not a matchup that we expected in large numbers, particularly the Dimir mid-range deck. Hasn't really been doing very well recently, but well enough here for Petr as he's 3-0 with the deck.
That's right. You take a look at Petr Sochůrek there, and there's Maxime Rayvich across the table. Game number 1 upon us. And they're going to go ahead and fire off. So Swamp to kick things off here for Petr. Passes over to Maxime, who's got the somewhat predictable Forest into Llanowar Elves. Yeah. We have seen that quite a bit this weekend already.
And no Requiting Hex here.
Oh, Deep Cavern Bat.
Pretty hard to remove Deep Cavern Bat when it's on the battlefield with the mono green deck. There's a couple of copies of Archdruid's Charm, but that's basically it for interaction. Lots of really good options here for Maxime. I mean, next turn you can either go Earthbender Ascension, get land number 4 in play, or get run out that Badger Mole Cub. One really important kind of new card that has been added to some people playing the mono green landfall deck, which I think is going to be really, really powerful in this matchup, is Sapling Nursery. This is a card that lets you kind of go over the top or just outgrind what a lot of these decks that are looking to play a bunch of 1/1 removal can do. So that is going to be a card that Maxime's going to be keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, and it's really critical to see that it has affinity for Forest. So very much a huge payoff for being mono green.
Right.
As that 8 mana cost dips dramatically. And of course, this deck has the ability to play and replay lands, to play numerous lands over the course of a turn, and each of those turns into board state.
And Petr actually keeping a very awkward hand here with 0 blue mana. That's Swamp, Sanctuary, Fountain Port, no blue sources in sight. Has another Deep Cavern Bat to basically deal with the Icetail Explorer, and Maxime is out of action here, but Peter, if he wants to get something going, needs to find a blue.
Yeah, you know, he probably is going to be relieved to see this 2 copies of Deep Cavern Vat versus the mono green deck somehow.
Right.
That's got to be where it's absolutely best.
Ooh, and that is
that a charm?
Yeah, that is a way to deal with the bat and get one of those threats back. So huge, huge draw here from Maxime. Can choose to fight and also look for a creature card and put it into your hand. So imagine that's what he's going to be looking to do here. Oh, excuse me, you can only choose one.
Oh, man. I guess it's a charm, not a command.
Right.
We've been playing too much limited.
Still very, very good here, though.
Yeah, kill a bat.
+1/+1 counter and deal damage to this.
And that'll get the Icetail Explorer back.
And it's one of those things where you go, nice draw. Nice draw.
Yeah, all right. You found your
Those aren't 2 forests that I saw in his hand.
Right.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, Petr knows exactly what he had in hand there.
Yeah, and Icetail Explorer going to do a lot of work as well. You can just get a bunch of lands in play, and every time you play a land, you get to mill yourself, and that goes really, really well with the 3 copies of Esper Origins that are also in the deck. You know, you just kind of mill a bunch of cards. If you're lucky enough to hit one of those, all of a sudden you get a free spell you can cast out of your graveyard.
Both of our players are sitting with a 4-2 record, so very good start to the day, just looking to finish strong here.
Wow, and still no blue source here for Petr.
Jeez, Requiting Hex will take care of the Llanowar Elves and knock a couple of mana off of the table as well.
Maxime debating whether or not to sack the Fabled Passage.
That was upkeep.
Right. Just choosing to draw instead here. Now remember, you can just still sack it here, go get your land, then play the Explorer, and then play the Fabled Passage numerous times. There's actually another card that would be nice to hit, which of course is Bossing Say, another way to kind of just get additional value here out of the lands you might mill. another really, really annoying card for something like the Demeter mid-range deck to handle.
Yeah, this green deck just feels like
Trigger on the
it's
stack.
vulnerable to, you know, combo finishes and stuff, but if you're trying to outgrind it, it seems really difficult.
Right. This is the first land drop from the Untitled Explorer. Trigger on the stack, sacrificing to get a land, just to thin out your deck a little bit, right? I mean, still just reduce, you know, you just makes it so that, you know, you can maybe mill higher chance of milling Esper Origins. It's a Lumbering World Wagon and a Saz's Chocobo.
Another Saz's Chocobo there.
All right.
The Cub's going to rumble,
Your turn.
and Maxime's going to pass the turn
Can
back.
Petr find a blue source?
here?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's another Requiting Hex.
Yeah, and I mean Maxime's just playing 2 extra lands every single turn here.
Yeah, he's going to get a tremendous number of lands on the battlefield very quickly.
Choosing to draw here first.
And it's another Badger Mole Cub off the top.
And the reason why he's doing that is, you know, he could find Sapling Nursery off the top, right? And then you want to save that sacrifice trigger on the Fabled Passage to just be able to make another token. If you top deck a Mindform Harmonizer, right, that's also additional landfall triggers that you can get. Do we see what he drew for the turn?
He drew a Cub.
Okay, so not a super impactful play, but Maxime looking for Esper Origins or Bossing Say at this point here.
There's a Harmonizer getting milled. He saw 2 Saz's Chocobo and now a Harmonizer, so all his
Right.
threats are somehow getting milled away by the Untitled Explorer, and Maxime's going to grab a land with the trigger on the stack once again, so he'll mill 2 after he's done shuffling.
Again, trying to hit that Esper Origins. Only 3 copies in this list.
Mill twice.
2 mills and nothing. All right.
Huh.
Lots of lands, though. He's got more than double the lands than on Petter's side here.
Yeah, you know, normally flooding out
Right.
for the landfall player isn't too bad, but
Yeah.
he is not applying much pressure. Like, Petr has a legitimate chance of coming back here if he can get blue mana and start casting, you know, casting
Right.
those spells every turn.
Right.
And there's the Hex to kill the OG Cub.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is okay. But Maxime still getting damage in, thinning out the deck. At some point, Maxime will get to a point, if that Untitled Explorer lives, where he just won't have any lands to draw left.
16, 15.
Wow, Petr just cannot find
this
anything here.
This is
Is
nuts.
it like no blue source, no land drop go? Holy smokes.
Sapling
Oh,
Nursery.
and there's the nursery
there it
off
is.
the top.
And
And
that's
that's going
scoop.
to do it. Petr Sochůrek says, I've seen enough. I'm going to be way too far behind at this point. He would be making 3/4s every single turn, at least 2 of them.
Yeah, this triggers off of any lands, which is super powerful with all of the sacrifice lands in the deck.
Well, that's an easy write-off there for Petr, right? It's
Yep.
just like, you know, that happens every once in a long while. And it kind of didn't matter what Maxime did. It was just when we get to that turn of the game, there's no way that he can come back without a blue source.
Well, Petr will have the ability to cast most of his spells this game, or all of them. As starting things off with that Restless Reef does have the Requiting Hex here to get the Llanowar Elves if he so chooses. He still has the ability to also cast Annul, so I imagine you want to just get that elf off the battlefield.
Yep, he's going to hex it away. Play second land and then pass.
I believe he said black. Yeah, because it has 2 islands in hand. And no 2-mana plays here out of Maxime here. So
Wow.
killing that elf was huge, as this turn he could have run out either the Lumbering World Wagon or the Earthbender Ascension. But Petr does have the answer in the Annul in hand to either of those cards, and Deep Cavern Bat to likely take the other 3-mana play here. Yeah, both of those 3-mana effects will ramp you, get you the land. The Earthbender Ascension will also get you the 2/2. But yeah, much, much better hand here for Petr. Even with the Kaito to kind of ninja in, if he so chooses, off the bat. And chooses the lumbering world wagon, I believe. Yeah, okay. And if you're Maxime, I think you're just supposed to just play all your stuff, even though there's a chance. I mean, most of these decks are playing 2 annuls in the sideboard,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups where, you know, what is Maxime supposed to do? Like,
Right.
wait forever? He's going to have to just kind of get through all the things that Petr brings to the table, and it's just going to get worse and worse. There's Kaido now from Petr.
Yeah, you can still tick this up as you have dealt damage. Surveil 2, draw a card. Not a whole lot of ways to pressure the Planeswalker here. Was that top?
Top.
Top. Can't be feeling good about that.
He's got a removal spell and a Tishana's Tidebinder, and he also has a Deep Cavern Bat for any of the more expensive stuff.
And all Maxime has here is a Might Form Harmonizer. And Petr has the answer in that Bitter Triumph. Can even just lock it down with the Kaito if he wants.
He's going to actually just activate Bossing Say here, it looks like.
And is that attacking Kaito, I imagine?
I think he needed to tap it.
Oh, excuse me. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Just making a 2/2, sure. Yeah, but this is a tough spot now because Kaito is just continuing to provide you card advantage over the next few turns.
4, 15, 22, 0.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to fall apart very quickly for Maxime.
Right. Finds a Requiting Hex potentially. I believe there was also an Enduring Curiosity. Requiting Hex would be a nice way to get the land. If Maxime chooses to be aggressive here and utilizes the land to try to get the Kaito off the battlefield. But it just feels like Petr just has all the angles covered here.
He does.
You got Essence Scatter plus Bitter Triumph with a superior board position here. And a second bat.
And of course, you know, one of the things that comes with the bat is the knowledge.
Right.
Right? You just know exactly what you need to play around and what Maxime's potential plays are for the next turn. He has, you know, one unknown card off the top, but everything else he'll just already know.
Yeah, I wonder if Maxime just goes, well, I just got to kind of go for it here, maybe. Do I just make a 4/4 and attack the Kaito and hope you have absolutely nothing?
Second boss,
Yeah,
say he's just going to go for it.
It's like, oh yeah, I got it.
Attack Kaito.
Yeah.
And Maxime is not surprised to see this happen,
Right.
but probably a little bummed about it.
Your turn.
He gets his land back, and he passes the turn back completely tapped out. And, you know, usually the third turn that they have a Kaito going, it's
Right.
going to be difficult to come back from that. But let's see what happens.
Oh, Petr going for all of the cards here.
He's going to draw 3 extra cards, too,
Right.
thanks to Enduring Curiosity.
All of the value here. Finds the land there. Has the ability to cast a Requiting Hex. And drawing more cards
Now
here
Surveil
with
2
Kaito.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So he saw 5 cards, got to draw 4 of them.
Yeah. I mean, this deck can get a little snowbally, especially with Enduring Curiosity and an uncontested Kaito.
Yeah, interesting matchup. Just these two decks have such a wildly different approach to the format. It probably speaks to the format. You know, we were talking about how big Standard is right now, and
Right.
Maria was talking about it at the news desk as well. But one of the features of that is that you really do get diversity in decks. I mean, these decks have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
No,
No
not at
card overlap, no strategical, you know, it's just, this is 2 very different approaches to the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, play draw, certainly very, very big in this type of matchup. But, you know, the addition of Requiting Hex, I think, just goes a really, really long way for these various black decks to really keep up with, you know, all the Llanowar Elf, Badger Mole Cub decks that we're seeing.
And we've seen those, I mean,
The mana value of it?
Yeah.
just soaking up Requiting Hexes every single
know
time
what
they
you're
hit the battlefield.
Sorry.
I think they might be asking about the mana value of the lands with the Requiting Hex, or no? Okay.
You see Petr's just finishing up his sideboarding.
Yeah, Deep Cavern Bat perhaps a little bit too slow on the draw, so Petr actually choosing to shave one here.
If you're just tuning in, we're happy to have you along. We're in Richmond, Virginia. Bit of a cold snap outside, but here in the convention center, we got all the action going on. we've got standard for you right now. We had draft earlier in the day. The first 3 rounds of the tournament were draft. And we'll repeat that tomorrow, by the way. Yes.
That is correct. It is, in fact, cold outside.
And it's cold enough to not be countered, no doubt about it.
Ooh, I see a Llanowar Elf and a land and a Badger Mole Cub. This is kind of an ideal hand here for Maxime on the play. Just kind of ask the question, hey, Petr, do you have a turn 1 Requiting Hex?
Yeah, Llanowar Elf's so good at demanding answers lest things get out of control pretty quickly.
Right.
Yep.
Petr has kept his opening hand, and we are underway. Here's Llanowar Elves now for Maxime, so will it live?
Yep.
Oh, it's an island.
Just an island, so you
And
know.
that means yes, it will.
Yeah, you have to be mindful of a null, I suppose, and Spell Pierce, I guess, as well. And Cub is
Badger
going
Mole
to
Cub
resolve.
resolves too?
Wow. And then there's also the Esper Origins that you can cast. Now, this will get possibly pierced, but it's not even that big. I think you just let it resolve, right? Because the power in the Esper Origins is the flashback, not the actual sorcery mode of this card.
Right. Surveil 2, gain 2 is... Oh, you're down a card.
Yeah, and with the resolved Cub now, I mean, that Spell Pierce gets so much so much
Actually,
worse.
that
here,
is
right?
true. Maybe you
have
just
so
do
much
it to
mana.
do it?
Your turn.
Petr's hand has no removal. Does have a Flood Pitch Drowner that does get to tap down a Llanowar Elf, cutting off 2 points, 2 mana for a turn, which would be very, very strong. But Maxime still has the ability to play an Archdruid's Charm. Search out a creature, maybe an Icetail Explorer. Perhaps just get the Flood Pitch Drowner off the battlefield so you don't get Kaito'd.
Maxime with just 2 lands drawn, but that will not stop him. There's land number 2 for Petr.
Okay, going for a Spyglass Siren here instead.
Yep.
So a lot of mana available here for Maxime, at least 5. That is a land, so you can just play. It's pretty safe to just cast Mightform Harmonizer here, right? I mean, for 1 mana, there's just nothing you can do to counter
Right.
the Harmonizer here.
And we certainly would have seen any other removal already used, so
Right?
looks like the way is clear.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Flashback aspirations.
Oh,
He's
right.
going to go for Esper Origins
Yeah,
here
but this
instead.
will get Spell Pierced.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
that is really punishing, and you had the land there, too.
And is he going to play the Land of Shame?
I imagine so. We'll see. That is brutal. I mean, with 1 mana up, you have to think, what's the safest thing that I can resolve?
Right.
Either you play the land to play around the Spell Pierce, or you play the Mightform Harmonizer.
And both players smile when
Yeah,
he plays the land. 'Cause
yeah.
You know what?
The Land of
We've
Shame.
all been there before. Every
man.
one of us goes, yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Turn 1.
That could
Okay.
be very punishing, though, for Maxime. We'll see. He still has a good hand.
And a big draw here from Petr. Finds Requiting Hex. Can use that to kill Badger Mole Cub and also cast the Flood Pitch Drowner to really lock down all of the mana generation for Maxime. Oh, actually, just choosing to deal with all the mana creatures instead, you can actually just Flood Pitch Drowner the forest here, and all of a sudden Maxime would only have access to 2 green mana here.
This is stun counter.
So he went from 6 to 2 here?
Only 2 mana with what? And an escape tunnel, so you can't even cast the Archdruid's Charm here.
Wow.
Yeah, that Spell Pierce was kind of backbreaking.
Because otherwise he'd have a really scary threat. And take a look at Petr. He doesn't have answers.
I mean,
for
yeah,
him.
the Harmonizer would literally be on the battlefield, and then Maxime just drew Escape Tunnel. So that's an attack for 16, potentially.
Skip to last second.
Yep.
Wow.
That was a very powerful
It worked
Very,
out
very
so well for Petr not countering it on the first time, too.
Right, and as long as Petr doesn't die next turn, I mean, he will be able to get that Enduring Curiosity onto the battlefield and draw an additional 2 cards. I can't imagine Maxime just chump blocking here. Get that land out there, swing with both. Unless Maxime's going, well,
I think he figured it out.
it's like,
Now
you might just have the curiosity. Maybe I just block. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I like that, Maxime.
Petr's still going to run it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you go to 20 and I draw a card.
Yeah, but this is still such a great spot here. Maxime has no creatures that he can attack with next turn. There's still that Spyglass Siren drawing him a card every single turn. Maxime probably doesn't have a clean answer to the Enduring Curiosity.
Exile?
Oh, excuse me. He has
Does it exile, too?
It does exile too. Okay, okay. All right.
Clean answer required.
Clean answer acquired, excuse me.
So now he went from way behind to a little behind.
Yeah, because Petr still has access to Shauna's Tidebinder, which can certainly do a lot of work, but cannot now get the ball rolling here with the map token. It's a tragic trajectory. Could use that to kill, actually, the Mindform Harmonizer, given that he does have a Spyglass Siren in hand.
Attack for 2.
18?
2 damage coming across there with the Siren, and he's got a backup Siren as well.
And Maxime is, of course, aware that the trajectory is still on top here, so knowing if he plays out a Mindform Harmonizer, he's just going to die. Might be better to just run out a couple of small things instead. Has Llanowar Elves and Saz's Chocobo.
Maxime still trying to recover from that Spell Pierce. That just knocked all the momentum out of his game plan. His board more or less fell apart after that, too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, one thing with this mono green deck is if your opponents can kind of handle a couple of things here and there, it's not really good at kind of coming, coming back, right? In spots like this where you just got a pile of 4-mana 4/4s and you're kind of hoping one of them sticks.
Here Saz's Chocobo. It resolves, and then looks like combat's going to happen.
Tishana's Tidebinder, I suppose, could have gotten in the way. Llanowar Elves.
No landfall here for the
Yeah.
Chocobo.
Are we gonna crack the map and draw a card? Yes, we are. Off of the Fountain Port that's in play. So Petr can find just any number of Kaito or Enduring Curiosity, that would be great. But I mean, he's still looking quite good here. Found a Requiting Hex as well. So 2 cheap interactive spells plus Tishana's Tidebinder, couple of flyers, and Fountain Port going. At this point, though, you have to think, okay, well, maybe I don't care so much about the Llanowar Elves. You've already got 4 mana going. Perhaps the Chocobo could be a scarier card here in conjunction with the Mindform Harmonizer and perhaps a fetch land. And Tragic Trajectory is a sorcery. Looks like he's going to fire this off here. Okay, still. Oh, no, Requiting Hex main phase, sure.
Yeah, he's going to pass the turn back. There's a Badger Mole Cub.
Okay. Now, Petr can use Tishana's Tidebinder to counter the come into play effect. So you wouldn't be able to animate a land. As it enters, you do get to Earthbend here. A tricky spot here.
If he wants to do that, he has to let it resolve and then Tidebinder the trigger.
Right, because if you don't counter this in any way, shape, or form, Maxime will have access to 4 mana. Then he can just hardcast the Mindform Harmonizer as well.
Okay, there's the Shoshana's
Yep.
Tidebinder.
So Badgermole Cub is a vanilla 2/2 creature.
Yeah, he can
with
get
the Earth
3
Bend.
mana while it's on the battlefield, right?
Yeah, you can float the mana in response
but
to
not
the
4.
Tidebinder, but 4 doesn't. Yeah, and 3 doesn't actually do anything.
Right.
Given Maxime's hand.
And then once the Tidebinder trigger resolves, now Badgermole Cub loses all ability, so that it doesn't double your mana anymore.
And Disdainful Stroke to counter at least one of the Mindform Harmonizers. Might be time here to. Oh, and still just going for the
Wow.
Cub.
That way you
Okay.
can start turning things sideways.
Yeah, getting aggressive here.
I mean, that Saz's Chocobo still in the nest.
Yeah, still a little one. Now, I wonder, Maxime is certainly thinking, hey, I block, the land comes back into play, pumps up the Chocobo. If I draw, for example, an escape tunnel, and if the Mindform Harmonizer resolves, I mean, there's something going there.
Right.
That's what Maxime is playing to.
He found a forest.
Yeah, so I imagine he's going to run out the Harmonizer. Disdainful Stroke was actually a very nice draw here for Petr, slowing things down, giving him the ability to continue putting pressure here. This is almost certainly getting countered. So now Maxime could play a land here to make a 2/3 Chocobo or keep it in hand to perhaps get more triggers off the Harmonizer. And keeps it back, so potentially leaving it as a defensive creature against the Tidebinder. And Petr going, you know what, I don't mind this trade. If you want to trade your Chocobo for my 3/2, so be it. Yeah, Maxime is the is kind of trying to preserve the life total here. At 9, Petr has the active Fountain Port, and all Maxime can do is just run out a Harmonizer and a Llanowar Elf.
Yep. And there's both of them.
Yeah.
Wow. This doesn't happen very often, but
No.
both players right now are empty-handed.
They are empty-handed now.
You don't play
Petr.
that for a treasure?
No, for treasure, yeah.
Oh, okay. Making a treasure instead of a chump-blocking fish token.
Really?
Okay.
On 7 lands already?
Looks like he's just looking for more answers. Probably going to crack the treasure for a card.
Ah, right.
Oh,
Is that Kaido?
That was Kaido. Big draw here for Petr. Can attack with the Siren, get the Kaito in play, perhaps just lock down the Harmonizer. And then you can, if you want to play even a bit conservatively too, you can keep one of the Sirens back to have 2 blockers to kind of save the Kaito. Just something to consider here for Petr. It's like, okay, do I want 1 or 2 blockers, right? Because if you ninjutsu in with the Kaito, you will still have the 1 mana available to play out the other Siren.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so choosing to kind of maximize damage here. This allows you to get in for 5.
5 and a 4?
I imagine like locking down the Harmonizer looks pretty nice, but he's actually just looking to draw cards here.
He must figure that he realistically can't die from this position.
Right, yeah.
Remember, no cards in hand for Maxime, so perfect info here for Petr.
Yeah, Ice Till Explorer would be a great draw here for Maxime. Don't think Forest gets it done here.
Petr Sochůrek applying maximum pressure. Down to 4 is Maxime Rayvich.
Oh, he will be able to kill the Kaito.
Oh, really?
Right.
Just set you both of these at
Yeah,
You're
but remember,
right.
Petr has the other Kaito in hand.
Oh, and he
Yeah.
shows it to him, and that's going to do it. Petr Sochůrek picks up the win over Maxime Rayvich. Very impressive with Demir midrange. Petr back on the Pro Tour after a pretty long hiatus. 5-2 here on day 1.
Yeah, with kind of a deck a lot of people wrote off as something that you probably shouldn't be playing just because Standard has continued to get stronger and stronger. And I feel like the Demir decks maybe didn't really
Also,
get
I'm
as
actually
many
about to
tools.
bring it
But
in.
hey, the addition of requiting Hex against the green matchups, and of course also access to some of the other cards like Spell Snare, just really cheap interaction against the green decks certainly helps. He's 4-0 with the deck so far.
That's right. I like it. I like the look of that build, and it seems well positioned as well. We're going to take a short break here from Richmond, but when we come back, we've got more standard action for you. Nick Chow versus Justin Sable. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to coverage here of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon, and we are in Richmond, Virginia. Thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to have you along. We're watching Standard right now, and so far we've seen a whole bunch of different decks down in the feature match area. We've got a couple more. Bant Airbending is one of them. We've seen that one before, but check this out. Nick Chow on 4-color allies on the other side of the table here.
Yeah, this is certainly... I feel like this is the round where we get to see kind of a lot of the interesting decks that people are bringing. And the Allies deck is certainly, capable of some really, really explosive starts here. We have several lands that kind of allow you to just, as long as you name Ally, you can just kind of cast anything. So playing 4 colors is not really an issue. At which point, all of a sudden, you can just kind of play the most efficient Ally at every point in your mana curve. And as you can see, both players sitting at 3 and 3. So this is a win and in into day 2.
That's right. 6 cards here for Justin, Nick on 7.
Drop to ally.
And of course, being on the play when you're on one of these assertive creature-based decks really matters. And you see he's got the Earth and Ally to start things out.
Yeah, this deck, I mean, if a lot of your key ally survives, you can do some kind of silly things here. You have Earth King's Lieutenant, which can, of course, pump up your entire team. So if you can get a bunch of allies in play, that's great. You also have cards like Katara the Fearless, which kind of doubles the triggers off of the allies that you have. So you're kind of just playing your allies, hope they stick around, and if they do, then all of a sudden you just kind of bury your opponents in card advantage.
And there's that Lieutenant to kick things off. I also see Great Divide Guide ×4 in here. That's explosive in decks like this. But in the meantime, maximum damage coming in with the Earth King's Lieutenant.
Yeah, I mean, getting in for a 3 on turn 2 is on the play. That's exactly kind of what you need to be able to put enough pressure here on the Bant Airbending deck, because if the games go long, you have to like the Bant Airbending side.
That's right. Bramble Familiar for Justin.
There is a Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop here, one of the main reasons why you can get away with playing the 4-color ally deck here. And tap for mana of any color to cast an ally, and a second Lieutenant. So this is a really aggressive start here from Nick Chow.
Yeah, normally it's a non-starter, right? If I
Right.
told you I've got this really cool deck, it's all allies, they synergize super well, but it's 4 different colors and it needs to curve out, you would say, sorry, dude. Like,
Yeah. The fact that you can play up to 4 copies of that land along with 4 copies of Cavern of Souls really just allows you to basically play everything. This is,
Yeah.
what is this, 7 damage coming in?
9.
Justin's already at 9 here.
holy smokes. It's done 11 damage over 3 turns.
Wow, and he's got a Spider Sense in hand too.
Just in case Justin has anything tricky.
Yeah, maybe some kind of balance effect with Aang, something along those lines. This could be a quick one.
Nick Chow really showing the explosiveness of this allies deck and putting maximum pressure on Justin.
Starting town.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a painful? No. Might be. Okay. Nope. Badger Mole.
Is he going to counter the trigger?
Looks like he might.
Spider sense the trigger.
Has to pick something up. Has to pick up a tapped card. So picking up the 3/3. So it wasn't free, right? You did
Not
pick
at
up
all.
a 3/3 Trampler here to be able to counter the triggered ability on the Badger Mole Cub. Okay, hey, that is a nice way to clean up the board here. Double spell turn from Justin. Still, Badger Mole Cub is still in play. The Bramble Familiar next turn will tap for 2 mana.
Seamrip has been doing good work here today. How can Nick best rebuild for maximum damage output is the question.
Looks like he's going for Earth and Ally into that Earth King Lieutenant that we know is in Nick's hand here, as it was picked up from the Spider Sense. So, hey, this is still a big attack here. I mean, that is what, a 4/4 Lieutenant getting in with Trample. That would put Justin down to 5.
For you. 5.
Down to 5 goes Justin.
Main. You're up.
Temple Garden tapped, and he says, you're up.
On tap.
As you mentioned, though, this is a lot of mana available now for Justin. Could have 5.
Yeah, Aang at the Crossroads would be an interesting one, just because you can add multiple threats to the battlefield. Of course, Justin would need to play an extra land on top of that. Or, you know, if Justin had something like another Seamrip and an Aang just to deal with the Tramplers, that could also be something that he can have here to come back. Nick is down to 1 card. I believe the last card was a somewhat new card. I mean, not somewhat, actually new card in Winnowing.
Oh, really?
I believe that's what he had in his hand. Now, take a look here. Convoke Sorcery. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all the other creatures they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature they control.
Yeah, he's got 2 of those in the board.
Yeah. So basically, you get to kind of kill all their other creatures. So 2 mana. Ooh, okay. Badger Mole Cub. So this is only kind of costing you 1 mana, right? While also putting 3 creatures in play. Still has access to 4 mana here. Excuse me. He netted mana on this. Or broke even, rather.
Free Badger Mole Cub.
Free Badger Mole Cub. Although I believe Justin did miss land drops here. So what can he do with the last 4 mana? Tapped Breeding Pool.
Sorry,
And
going 5,
passes.
So
I'm
nothing
at
just
5,
yet.
you're at 20.
Yeah. Could still have something like an Appa or Aang Swift Savior in hand.
Three cards.
But I feel like if you're Nick, it's like, what do? Right? You can't just say nothing. You also do have this winnowing that you can run out. Looks like he's going for it here.
He's got 2 of them in hand. Or I should say both of them in hand.
Right. Does Justin have Aang?
He does.
He will have to take a point of pain here. Go to 4.
So is his second Capo of winnowing going to do the thing next turn?
Possibly. I mean, this
Is it
isn't
too late?
yeah, this is an attack for 4, right? I imagine there's going to be a double block here with Aang and a Badger Mole Cub. Unless Justin somehow has the ability to kind of combo off here.
Oh, where he may want to keep.
But then you'd have
around.
Right, like do you just block with 1 Badger Mole Cub? Right? If you block with 1 Badger Mole Cub, you go to 2. Perhaps that gives Justin the opportunity to have enough mana to go Doc Auralock Appa and then just make a million tokens.
Right, and then you don't have to worry anymore. No, it looks like the combo is not pending, so he's going to go for the double block.
Now Nick has a decision to make. It's like, do I want to shut you off of 2 mana by killing the Cub, or do I want to absolutely minimize the chance that you might be able to combo?
I'll knock off the Cub.
Eating up the mana here.
All right.
He figures that's the best way to prevent potential combo shenanigans or just keep Justin from doing too much.
But Justin still has access to a lot of mana here. 6 mana available with this board,
And that's without a land drop yet either.
but has to be mindful of the fact that there is a winnowing that is in the airbend zone. So, I mean, basically what that means is you cast a winnowing, you choose 1 creature that they control, that creature lives, and basically everything else will die. Okay.
And that's for you too.
Right.
So white, green, green floating.
Is this Aang at the crossroads?
Play Appa.
Okay.
Airbends these 2. Yeah.
Put airbends these
Okay.
2.
Yeah, and then you can. Oh, and then if you play the Bramble Familiar, if you fetch quest,
Floating,
and you hit
this.
Doc
this
Hourlock,
quest. Yep.
right? Then all of a sudden you kind of have the combo.
Oh, yeah, because
So he's looking for Doc Hourlock, and he hits Doc
And he
Hourlock.
hit Doc
Look at how much
Hourlock.
faster he got after he hit
Yeah,
it.
there it is.
There it is. So I mean, this might be. Yeah, I mean, this is the combo now. He has everything going. You can flicker the Badger Mole Cub infinitely,
And
animate
I'm
that
gonna
land, and I believe
Appa.
that's going to be a lethal attack here.
And I'm going to flicker.
Oh, a lethal attack right now. I mean,
With the
even
Badger Mole
then,
Cub.
there's no way
Yeah,
that Nick can
replay
get
Cub
through
counter.
a
Yeah.
billion tokens. And Justin picks up the win. That's going to put him into day 2 with still a round to go here.
We have seen so many clutch fetch quests.
Seriously.
Just getting you exactly the piece that you need.
Yeah, having that be such a critical part of both how you make mana and do your early game in the deck, but then having the other side of it just be the thing that finds your combo pieces is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of does absolutely everything that you want in the deck, and it's been super, super impressive. The Ban Airbending deck, I mean, it's one of those decks where I feel like there's not been too many additions to it. You could have just literally played almost the exact same deck at the World Championship, but somehow the metagame's kind of evolved. They've, taken out a lot of the cards that you don't absolutely need, and it looks great.
It has. Every time we've had it on camera, it's really stood out to us taking a look at what it can really do. Okay, let's take a look at Ray Zhang versus David Rood. And once again, we have players who are at the 3-3 record, which means a win would put them into day 2.
And Ray Zhang has brought a spicy one here.
What did Ray bring?
Well, Sanctum of All, they love their combo decks.
Yeah.
And this is a really spicy one. They call it Teamer Harmonizer. And the way it kind of plays out, it's kind of like a Teamer control deck, but they have the ability to kind of kill you out of nowhere. It relies on basically Might Form Harmonizer. You combine that with Full Bore and a fetch land, and basically you can just deal more than 20 damage to your opponent out of nowhere. And by the way, because you're warping into Teamer, the Harmonizer, it actually has trample as well.
Oh.
And presumably this is something that you are looking to maybe use to target something like these Badger Mold Cup decks that are really lacking in interaction, right? All you're trying to do is ramp and kind of get Crater Hoof Behemoth in play. And I feel like kind of the theory is, well, if they're going to look to do that, then I can just try to play whichever combo deck I think is best suited against that strategy.
I mean, to me, the best decks really in Magic history have often been decks that can play a perfectly serviceable, fair game plan where they just kind of cast their spells and advance a game plan, but have the ability to, oops, I comboed you and now
Right.
you're just dead. Because what it does is it often forces the opposing player to respect the possibility of that happening,
Right.
which makes them play differently, them sideboard differently, and often buys you enough time to win with your primary game plan anyway.
David off to a nice start here. Turn 1 elf into Formidable Speaker. Trying to find something here. Looks like this is game 3, so we are in a fully sideboarded game here. So perhaps has an answer here that you can fetch for. The addition of this card just gives you so much more flexibility in terms of deck building. It just allows you to play all kinds of different one-ofs in your deck or even in your sideboard. And there you go. I bet you that's a one-of.
Yep.
Enduring Curiosity here.
We've seen this card do good work this very round. Can David make it work? So far, he's got 2 creatures versus 0.
And it is a one-of in the sideboard here. Really great card to search for in the control matchups. All of a sudden, all your kind of mana dorks actually become relevant. I wonder if Ray has something like a
How many?
Seer or something. 3 copies of it in the main. This is not a removal spell you see that often. I think the deck that makes the most sense to play a card like this would be like the Is It Lessons deck, but it's just not enough better than, you know, something like Combustion Technique. You kind of need all the lessons. So it's nice that we actually get to see kind of a controlling deck that has access to this card.
Ray does decide to fire it off. They had to really kind of think about it. I mean, a lot of times the damage is done,
Yeah.
but also just completely not using your mana for the turn. Not great.
Curious if Ray just has the combo in hand. And that is a Pyroclasm getting the elf off the battlefield here, really just kind of attacking David's mana base here.
I like the Clasm sticking around to block. Oh. That didn't last for
It's like David just kind of has to tap out to play something, and if Ray has full bore plus Harmonizer, I mean, that would just be the game, right?
So what does it go 4 to 7 off
So
the full
4,
board, and then land?
Yeah, 4. You go land, Harmonizer, Fable. Oh, but the Fable Passage is already in play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't played with the deck yet, but I mean, David also is down to 16, right?
Right.
Taking some damage off the shocks.
Yeah, easy mode. You see Badger Mole Cub here from David. Still trying to set up that Curiosity.
So I guess you warp it in, fetch
That's
the land,
3.
trigger on the stack, you full board, that's 7. So it would only be 14 damage, right? I believe.
With 1 landfall trigger.
Right. The combo really works is, the way that you really want the combo to work is not have the Fabled Passage in play yet.
Obviously, custom movement.
Yeah.
Ray's gonna double fetch with the Fabled Passage
Yep.
for efficiency.
So no Might Form Harmonizer kill here just yet. Perhaps another Pyroclasm. That'd be a clean way to get rid of this Badger Mole Cub. Oh, perhaps just an Ice Tail Explorer. Properly thinning out the deck here. With a good shuffle. Feels like an Ice Tail Explorer.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
No one.
Mill 1 and go. But this is definitely where David has to start really considering the possibility of getting comboed out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, whether he's got anything to do about it is a different question.
Right.
And if you don't, then play on.
Yeah, again, this deck is really kind of lacking interaction. Now, David is playing the Bant version here. there is a singular copy of Bright Glass Gearhulk that's in the deck that you can use to kind of fetch up cards like Meltstrider's Resolve or Unable to Scream, both of which would work if you had the Gearhulk.
Ooh, it's Ouroboros.
I imagine that's kind of what Ray wants to see. It's like, okay, play Ouroboros and maybe I can kind of do my thing.
Right, I get 2 turns.
Right. And the nice thing about something like a Seer is even after a trigger off the Ouroboros, you can still finish it off because it has 4 toughness. Oh, and doesn't represent Spider Sense here. Okay.
This passes the turn back.
Now, I don't see a Mindform Harmonizer in Ray's hand, so can't actually go for that necessarily. There is a Pyroclasm and a Seer in Ray's hand, but Pyroclasm not quite effective here. Seer would cleanly deal with the Ouroboros.
This is a pretty critical juncture in this match. We're in game number 3.
Yeah, but Ray does have Consult the Star Charts in hand with the ability to play 2 lands out of the graveyard here, which means, I mean, with 7 lands in play, that's effectively a dig through time here, and which should be able to kind of find what they need.
Waiting for turn, no trigger on the stack.
Okay, thinning out the deck.
I still have a land drop. I'm going to use this a die for a land drop.
Yeah, that was the first land, playing that Fabled Passage out of the graveyard.
Yeah, and we've seen this sequencing before.
So then I'll resolve 2 mill triggers.
Yeah.
Also, you're kind of a 3-color deck with some number of basics, but perhaps not infinite. You want to just make sure you get the land that you actually can find instead of accidentally milling it. Okay, Consult the Star Charts and Spell Snare.
Snare.
Oh, look at this. Being aggressive here, maybe looking to try to go for the win here. If you can find Mindform Harmonizer, I think that's the game. So can Ray find it? Found
that
it.
Looked like a
Mindform Harmonizer. Remember, another land drop still available here and has the mana to kind of do it all here.
That's
Mindform
right.
Harmonizer, get a Fabled Passage, full bore, get Fabled Passage, and this should be lethal.
Is it enough?
I mean, it's got 7 power right now.
14,
now it's at 14,
28.
it's gonna be 28.
And how much toughness?
7. 28 minus 7, 21 damage.
Wow.
Coming through here.
The combo finish for Ray Zhang.
I mean, this is why you
And
bring the deck.
that's going to do it. Ray
Oh,
Zhang
man.
picks it up, swinging for 28. Woo. Holy smokes. That deck has incredible firepower with a massive swing to finish things off. It makes you respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the only real ways that this band deck can interact are sorcery speed removal spells, right? You have the Unable to Screams and what have you. So if you just have an instant speed way to deal 28 damage, I mean, you're just oftentimes just not going to have enough toughness on the board to deal with that.
That's right. And you know, it makes a lot of sense. We've seen a lot of the decks that are combo versions or they're very much inward looking. They're not looking to interact with their opponent very much. They're really looking to kind of do their own thing. And having that random one-off just boom that the other decks don't have is certainly paying off there for Ray Zhang. Fantastic stuff from the feature match area. We are going to take a short break here from Richmond. When we comes back, we'll be at the news desk. Don't go anywhere.